Some people say I never throw anything away, and that ain't true. I throw away toilet paper on a regular basis. So just, but anyway, I have this piece of furniture right here. This is an old Vanity. And, these things used to be really popular back in the 50s. I heard somebody talking the other day about nobody wants brown furniture anymore. And they were talking about how young people don't want to buy the kind of furniture that old people bought, and this here is a good example of that. Plus, it's there's a name for that, and I know what it is because I used to work in a furniture shop, but I can't. The veneer's peeling off of this, and it takes up a lot of space. All this part in the middle is wasted space. We had this in the she shed, and we had I had that I made up a little piece of a covering flat thing to go on top. Then we sat a miniature refrigerator, a couple of them on that. And of course, Honeybay's changing, trying to make room over there. So we decided to get this out. And to be honest with you, I don't even think it's worth trying to sell. It's barely worth trying to give it away. But the drawers, it's got 4 drawers that are good drawers. And first I thought, I'll save the drawers. And then I got to thinking, rather than just save the drawers, if I took this part out of the middle, I could save the 2 things the drawers sit in, and then I would have 2 freestanding drawers that work. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now this is put together like this. Down here there's a piece, and one side bolts down into this drawer part, and the other side bolts into this side part. And this is the same way for the top. You got a piece that bolts that way and this way. If I took the bolt out of this part, took the bolts that are facing down on both sides, I could just leave that piece in there and then do the same thing up here on the top. And then on the back, someone put an added brace. I don't know if this is from the factory or someone added this brace on here. It may have been from the factory, because you notice the paint lines, this had a mirror on it. This might have been added at the factory and literally painted this blonde color. But this is a decent piece of wood, and it's in with nails. So I'm thinking I could pop the nails off of here, pop the little screws from both sides, and what I would wind up with, hopefully, would be 2 freestanding drawer pieces. And I've got the drawers in there that go with it. And then I could put things in those drawers and have a nice little storage place. It'd be better than a cardboard box. So I'm going to do that right now. And we'll see how that looks as I go along. I'll make videos and you can watch me do that. Okay? So yesterday I had this sawhorse set up, and I was working on it to cut some stairs and make a table for Honey Baby. And I came in here to my garage, and I thought, where do I have a place where I can sit this and work on it comfortably? Because when you're 68 years old, you don't feel like squatting down on the ground and taking bolts out of something. So I set it up in here again. Now, I have a table in here, but it looks like that. And even to clean that table off, I sort of need to pull everything off of it and then figure out where to put it and then put it back. So this is a pretty good temporary flat surface, so that's what I'm going to use it for. And this should be pretty simple. Like I said before, I'm just going to be pulling the bolts out of this thing that go that way. So that should go pretty well. And then I'll flip it over and I'll do the same thing, and then I'll prise that thing off the back. I'll let y'all kind of watch. Surely I can find a place where I can sit y'all, where you can watch me do this. Maybe on this ladder over here. I also brought my tools up from out back that Todd brought me. These should contain tools that I had hanging on the wall up in Maine. So I think I'll just climb the ladder with y'all and set you right up here, or maybe right over here, and just let you kind of look down at me. Maybe that's about as good of a shot as any that you could get to see me working over in there. And I believe I'll use I think I've got a screwdriver gun over here in the long bit. I'm already really enjoying my cabinet, my tool cabinet, because it gives me the ability to keep a lot of things in order pretty well, and I'm liking that a lot. So that drill bit there might work just fine. Although I may have others that I like better. We'll sort that out as we go along, I do believe. Well, that was easy. Look at that. Now, if it really was the kind of person who never threw anything away, then I could save that piece of wood, which is kind of a neat looking piece of wood. I don't know what I would ever use it for, but since I never throw anything away, looks almost like a piece of maple. But that'd make a nice little sign, you know, Peak Place, something like that. I hear a vehicle coming. People don't come down this road very often, so when they do, I always kind of stop and notice. These old, oh, those are Phillips heads. I could throw these away, but I think I won't. If they're good Phillips head screws, I'll put them over here in this thing, and then we'll just flip this over. It's still a little heavy. Got a little bit of heaviness to it. There we go. So I'll pop. These screws are going to be flat-headed screwdriver screws, so I'll get a flat-headed screwdriver for them. And they might be a little more difficult to get out, but I bet we can manage it. I haven't really unloaded all of my good screwdrivers. In fact, I was wondering, I remember putting them in something to bring them down here, but I don't remember what container they're in. That's going to be hard. Maybe I should stop talking while I solve the mystery of getting those out. Now these are old school screws here. Phillips head screwdriver. They didn't have any battery powered screwdriver guns. They have any kind of screwdriver guns when this was made. And they would drill, probably with a hand drill, the holes and then put the screws into them. You know, you kind of got to have a lot of respect for the people that built this old furniture, because it's really kind of amazingly made. Awful lot of work used to go into making things, unlike today where they have a machine slap everything together out of pre-formed plastic or something like that, you know. You get a piece of furniture that's never been touched by human hands, which that used to be kind of a selling point. They would say never touched by human hands, but in today's world it's like, don't mean that much anymore. The idea that they have robots building things that people used to build doesn't really fill me with it a lot of excitement. I mean, I suppose it has some sort of gimmicky coolness about it if you don't think about it too much, but not enough to make me actually crave that sort of thing. So, it's interesting in a way to me just to think about, you know, I'm taking these screws out that someone probably put in this piece of furniture. Well, let me see, I was born in '53 and this was exactly the kind of furniture that people were using, even buying. I remember my parents buying a bedroom suit, probably very similar to this, right after I was born. So in the early to mid 50s, this was the kind of thing, kind of furniture that people would have had. That's good, that piece of right there. Hey there, honey baby. Hey honey baby.
Doggies are both out. Charlie is looking for you.
Okay. So there's a little piece of a back piece on here. I'll bring it all around to a different angle. I'm just going to try to prise this piece off right here. There's another nice looking piece of wood that I might find a use for. And now, how do these sides come apart? It almost looks like it slides in. But this part comes out. It's interesting to see something made out of wood instead of, you know, that stuff they make nowadays. It's like truss board. It's basically glued together sawdust. Yeah, this is not that. This is just interesting to see how they made this. See how this piece of wood curls around? Well, they put little saw blade marks, and then they bent this around, and they put the veneer over it. That's cool. That's just cool. So this part probably slid into place here and there, and I don't see any screw holes. It may be that if I tap the sides of this, it might even slide out if I tap it that way. Let me put you back over here. Get me another hammer. It's better if you don't hit wood directly. If you can hit it with something else. For example, take this hammer and hit the hammer instead of the wood. You're less liable to splinter it up. I start every day down here with a long sleeve shirt on and then peel it off as it warms up. It's really pretty nice. I mean, even when it's, you know, it's chilly enough to have a shirt on in the morning, which is not bad. And then the day warms up pretty quickly and you can peel off your layers and still be very comfortable. That's a pretty nice thing. So it looks like these are going to slide apart this way. And I'll pull this here. And I can get, maybe I can get one of these in here, see. We'll prise that out. Do it as we go. Oh, that's good. It did have some nails in it right here, but we're all gone now. Okay, so now I can flip this over. And that'll make a good little drawer stand. Plus I got these extra pieces of wood left over for who knows what. You know, a piece of poplar right here, I believe. But it's still better than that press board stuff that they make nowadays. I'll go get the drawers and we'll put in that and you can see what they look like. So, that's a nice looking little piece all by itself. If I wanted to take this further, let's just say if I was a person who was buying and selling and, you know, then I could pretty this up. Okay. You doing the hearing aid today?
No.
Okay.
Doing it tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Gotta go do shopping.
You got Daisy, right?
I got Daisy.
You know what?
Inside.
Charlie's inside. Okay.
Yeah, he's not eating now. Not only is his ferocious eating subsided, now he's hardly eating.
That's not a good thing. Losing interest in food.
Huh?
Losing interest in food. Now that's not like Charlie at all, is it? No, it isn't.
He might, you know, he's eating like later. It was 10 o'clock and he hasn't been howling for food.
Wow.
I don't know, honey.
I don't know either.
But I'll be back.
Okay, love you. Be safe. So I was going to say, this veneer is fixable. You can, back when I used to work in a furniture shop, you take some super glue and put underneath that and iron it on. The iron instantly dries the super glue. Of course, here you've got some wood that's free floating. I think probably they just set the wood in here and super glued it on. I did notice this piece right here is oak. So you've actually got some nice wood in this piece. This may be, but it's nice to see that there is some nice wood in that. So anyway, I will put those probably in my bunker and put stuff like socks in them or something like that. Thanks for watching. I hope that was fun or helpful, or at least, you know, better than watching paint dry or something like that. Have a good day. Bye. I guess what I might do, since we're here and talking about this, is start a place to save good wood. Here I go, not throwing anything away again. But, you know, just take some pieces of wood like this leftover wood and put them in a place so that if I ever do want to make something, I'll have them sitting around. I can probably figure out a way to do that. See, even this piece here even is kind of interesting. See how the grain, this is probably veneer, but the grain runs, well, I don't know, it goes all the way up the piece of wood. That may be, it may actually be, no, the grain is different here, so I'm guessing that's veneer. But it's still cool looking, and this here is cool looking. This kind of stuff they used to do back in the 50s. Okay, I'll stop talking now.